Good morning, everybody. Today we're on lesson 111, and I might add that we're going to finish on lesson 122, so that means we only have 11 more lessons after today. That's exciting for me because this recording is taking forever. Alright, on page 450, 3 statements of equality. Now, this is not new. We've been working with equations that have x, y's, and z's in them, or n's and d's and q's and different variables, but we haven't had to write equations from a word problem, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So look on page 450. In the first place, I don't care if you use subscripted variables or not. To me, if it says nickels, just use an N. If it says dimes, use a D. If it says quarters, use a Q. You don't need to use the subscripts. So this is 111.1, and it says there were 26 nickels, dimes, and quarters in all. So nickels, dimes, plus quarters equals 26. All right? That's the total number of coins. And their value was $2.25. All right, well, how many cents in a nickel? 5. How many cents in a dime? 10. How many cents in a quarter? 25. And how many cents in $2.25? Well, there's 225. All right, we have 3 variables, so we have to have 3 equations to solve this. The next one says, how many coins of each type were there if there were 10 times as many nickels as quarters? So you know my little stacks. 10 times as many nickels, so that's the bigger stack, as quarters. So how do I catch this stack up to this stack? Okay, well it said 10 times, so if we multiply this one by 10, then they'll be equal. So that's our other equation. N equals 10Q. Alright, now we've been practicing problems like this, so this isn't brand new. What we'll do is we'll take this 10Q and put it here for n and here for n, and we'll simplify those 2 equations, and they'll only have 2 variables. So this will be 10Q plus D plus Q is equal to 26, which will be 11Q plus D equals 26. I'm going to put a little star by that so I remember that's one of my main equations. Now we'll go back and do that for this one. So that will be 5 times 10Q plus 10D plus 25Q is equal to 225. So that's 50Q plus 25Q would be 75Q plus 10D is equal to 225. Now that's our other equation. Well, we have a 10D here, and we have a 10D, we have a 1D here. So if we multiply this equation by a negative 10, then the D's will drop out. So negative 10 times 11 would be negative 110Q minus 10D equals, don't forget to multiply the negative 10 times 26, which would be negative 260. Okay, so then the D's cancel out, and we have 10 minus 5 is 5, 10 minus 7 is 3, negative 35Q is equal to 5, negative 35. So the number of quarters would be 1. And this asks for how many coins of each type. Alright, well we know that the nickels are equal to 10 times the quarters. Okay, so N is going to be 10 times the 1, so N is 10. And then we also knew that the total number of coins was 26. So now we know the nickels are 10. The quarters were 1. So that's 11 plus D is equal to 26. So subtract 11. D must be equal to 15. So D is 15, N is 10, and Q is 1. Alright, so completely doable, not too hard to write from words to an equation. Okay, last one for today's lesson. This is 111.2. The total number of blues, greens, and yellows in the pot was 7. So blues plus greens plus yellows equals 7. The blues weighed 1 pound each, so that's like a penny. The greens weighed 4 pounds each, and the yellows weighed 5 pounds each. Okay, so instead of it being a number of cents, it's a number of pounds per each type. The total weight was 25 pounds. So the total weight is 25, and we'll multiply the weight of each one of these. So blues weighed 1 pound, so 1 times B would be B, plus the greens weighed 4 pounds, so 4 times G would be 4G, plus the yellows weighed 5, so that would be 5Y equals 25. Okay, if there was one more yellow than green, you laugh at me, but there's more yellow than green. How do I catch them up? I add 1. So Y equals G plus 1. So again, we're going to use substitution. We'll put that in here and here. So B plus G plus, instead of writing Y, we put G plus 1 equals 7. And that equation is going to simplify to be B plus 2G, and if we subtract the 1, will be equal to 6. Put a star by that one. And then we go right here. So B plus 4G plus 5 times Y, which is G plus 1, and that's equal to 25. So now we have to distribute here. So we have B plus 4G plus 5G plus 5, don't forget, the 5 has to be multiplied by the 1, equals 25, which will give us B plus 9G, and if we subtract 5, we get equals 20. So there's our other equation. Well, I have a B and I have a B. So if I just simply multiply one of them by a -1, then the B's will cancel out. Don't forget to multiply that negative all the way across here, not just times the B. So that cancels, and I get 7G is equal to 14. Divide both sides by 7. G is equal to 2. And it wants to know how many of each color are there. Well, Y is going to be G plus 1. Okay, so Y equals G plus 1. And we just found out that G was 2, so that'll be 2 plus 1. So Y is equal to 3. And then we knew that the total of blues, greens, and yellows was equal to 7. And we've got the greens is 2, and the yellows is 3. So that must leave what for the blues? Right, blues equals 2.